Okay. All right, you guys, we are on. Welcome to the Veterans Series Forum. I'm your host, Christine Mantilla, and my co-host is right over in that box. I don't know if he's in that box for you or down there, but that's Stevie. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am DB, and for time constraints, 30 seconds. I've been working at the VA for about 10 years now. I've been coming alongside Christine for almost 3 years for this Veteran Series Forum. It's been an awesome ride, but yeah, I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, and now I'm here working for the VA serving other veterans.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to start with some introductions. So you guys, for time, please keep it at 30 seconds. Give us your service, your name, your service, and if you have an organization that you're here on behalf of, and then anything that you need to share later, we'll discuss during open forum. So let's start with Corey.
Hi, my name is Corey, and I am the lead peer navigator at Strong Family, Strong Children, and I'm also the service officer at the American Legion Newport, Post 291, and I'm also a 8 years United States Navy veteran.
Hey, thank you. It's so great to have you on. You're an amazing resource. How about Joe?
My name is Joe Castillo. I'm a United States Navy veteran. I belong to the American Legion. I am the post commander of 267 La Habra. I'm currently the first vice commander for District 29. In case you don't know what District 29 is all of Orange County. We have 25 posts, and I'm in charge of membership, and I'm running for district commander. So hopefully I'll get it.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Dr. Linda.
I am Dr. Linda Larson. I'm Air Force retired military veteran, 23 years, and I am representing veterans in media and entertainment.
How fun. Love to have you. Welcome. Raul.
Hey everyone, my name is Raul Diaz. I am Army veteran and actually still serving in the reserve component out of March Air Base. And today I am here on behalf of the American Red Cross, Service to the Armed Forces, just bringing all Red Cross services to our military communities.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then I have, gosh, is that Javier, the VFW? Okay, you guys, would you like to unmute and introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. So my name is Shadiq Anderson. I'm the president for California State University, Long Beach Student Veterans of America, as well as the regional vice president for Student Veterans of America, so Region 8 here in Southern California, as well as the potential senior vice here at the VFW Post 7243 in Hawaiian Gardens. And I'll pass to Javier to introduce himself.
Good evening, Javier Ortiz, Marine Corps and VFW commander here at Post 7243 Hawaiian Gardens, Director of Veteran Affairs for the American PTSD Society, Captain District 4 for the Honor Guard. Now, I'm just going to get down to the nitty gritty here. On the 12th of April, we got new music lessons for like students that's available here at our post, and we also have the American PTSD Society therapy session, and that it's like a bunch of things happening that day. So I guess I'll get back to you guys on that one. I also got a comedy show.
Wait,
so funny.
at the end.
They're doing
At the end. Just
Just
introductions right now.
All right, cool.
You after. I got you. You won't forget anything you have going on because you have amazing stuff going on.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And
definitely.
Marine Corps veteran, 8.5 years.
Thank you guys for joining.
For sure.
Jose. And if anybody joined after, we're doing 30 seconds, introductions, service, your name, service, and if you're with an organization. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Jose Guevara. I am the sergeant at arms for Post 132 in the city of Orange. Also the Area 5 commissioner for the Department Legion baseball program. I also served 5 years in the House of Representatives for Congressman Lou Correa. Was his veteran and military liaison. And then I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
Great to have you. John Z. Let's see. Can you try to unmute yourself?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, is that better?
That's
Yep.
so much better.
All right. John Zajac, president of American PTSD Society. Just really excited to see the momentum we have. The organization was founded in January 21st of this year. We've already had 2 events. We have another event coming up. We're just really excited to help veterans. Our goal is just to, as much as possible, eradicate PTSD in the United States for veterans. Hopefully our goal is to treat 100,000 veterans the next 10 years and really turn this thing around and make lives better for everybody.
Thank you. Omar?
Do we have Omar on?
Hop to Jesse.
Jesse Alvarado?
Yes, sir. So again, my name is Jesse Alvarado. I'm actually with La Palma Chamber of Commerce. I'm part of the board of directors and also past former city mayor of the city of Hawaiian Gardens. So it's a pleasure to be here with you. See how I can support. Yes.
Great to have you. Awesome. Javier, you're doing an amazing job. Look at all this.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So Gabby, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Gabby, and I am just here to watch and see what's going on with this meeting because I've known Christine for a little bit now, and I know she does a really good job with these meetings, so I'm excited to see what everyone has to say here. So, yeah.
Thank you for supporting, Gabby.
You're welcome.
I'm going to hand it over to DB.
Okay. So before we get started with our main our guest speaker, those of you who don't know what this is, and for guests who are maybe tuning in for the first time on the stream, what is the Veteran Series, right? So the Veteran Series is here to connect veterans to veterans and veterans to other valued resources. We also bring impactful speakers covering key issues relevant to the veteran community. We also work towards streamlining medical claims and the disability claims processing by providing education and having veterans' voices heard.
Thank you. We've got some incredible people on. So you guys put your information in chat and connect with everyone. Like there are some really great people on this call that have so many valuable veteran resources. So in order not to mess up, I'm going to introduce our amazing speaker and Miss Patty, who is with our amazing speaker. They are Total Relief Method, whom a lot of you have heard of or have spoken with and actually had some treatment. So yay. Now let me tell you a little bit about them. They are working on groundbreaking drug-free approaches without talk therapy, without medication, and without procedures that are invasive. Okay, they are directly addressing the root causes of PTSD in veterans by retraining the nervous system without the need for all those things that I mentioned, using neuromuscular calibration, which sounds really difficult. I bet it's simple for them, and thank God they're doing it. This method releases deep-seated tension and reprograms the body's stress response, providing long-lasting relief from trauma-related symptoms. Unlike treatments that focus on managing PTSD, the Total Relief Method eliminates the physical patterns that keep the nervous system locked in a state of fear and hypervigilance, allowing the veteran to regain control, clarity, and peace of mind. And the veterans experience immediate results in the first session. And I can say that I met with them. I had a mini, and I swear when I left, I was able to breathe, which is a really weird response, but I'm pretty sure that's probably what he meant to do. So you guys, thank you. We have Miss Patty McShane on and we have Dr. Rubenstein on. You guys have the floor.
Well, thank you. I think I want to just first introduce Miss Patty McShane. She is the cornerstone of two companies now, Total Relief Method and the American PTSD Society. And,
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think you're coming in really far away. It sounds like you're speaking from a tunnel, and it might be a mic issue on your end.
Okay, I'm turning up my mic all the way. Can you hear me better? No?
It just sounds like you're far away. It sounds like it's very quiet.
I have my mic turned up all the way.
Well, on your end, you're going to be able to hear us pretty well because your volume's turned up. But I'm talking about the mic you're speaking into. That's what we're having an issue with.
Okay.
How about this? How about you try to get closer and I'll use my Jabra next to my mic and see if that works.
Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Can you get a little closer to your mic?
Sure. How about that? Is that better?
Much better.
I don't know if y'all want to see my face this close up, but here goes. So, as I was saying, Miss Patty McShane is a cornerstone to the program. She's a practitioner of our method called neuromuscular calibration, popularly known as the Total Relief Method. As the developer of this technology, I can assure everybody on this call that there isn't anything else out there like what we're doing, because what we're doing is working at root causes of the central nervous system, and the main elements that trauma causes chain reactions with. For example, the first chain reaction that any trauma, and let me back up just 1 second. Do you know that the brain has one reaction to all trauma? It's the same reaction and the same chain reaction, despite different traumas that happen to people. Some traumas are instantaneous, immediate. Some are what we call slow burn traumas. If you've ever been in a toxic relationship, that's a slow burn trauma. So what is the first thing that happens to people that have been through a trauma? It's the breathing system changes. We have two ways to breathe. One is through the diaphragm muscle, that's below the lungs, and the other is through the chest muscles in the rib cage. When a trauma happens, the diaphragm muscle actually shuts off. Now, this is not unique to humans. There are other mammals that have this same reaction. Goats is one of them. In fact, they call it a myotonic goat reaction. And so there is a precedent that's been set for that prior to this discovery. And I am the discoverer of this element of how trauma affects the brain and body. And so what we do is we actually, in the first session, diagnose the actual breathing disorder that's there. And we immediately reanimate the diaphragm muscle. Now, everybody knows that diaphragm breathing is important, but do you know why? The reason why diaphragm breathing is important is that in the bottom 40% of the lungs is 7 times more oxygen transport ability than in the upper 60%, so that when you're breathing with your chest, you're only going to get air down to about the middle part of the lungs. That's it. That's all you get. When you're breathing with the chest and the diaphragm, half of that air goes to the lower lungs. And in that case, you have that 7 times more air transport to your body and brain activated. So in other words, people that are suffering from PTSD, they can't breathe. That's the main problem. That sounds like an oversimplification. It is not. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, and I had thousands of successful cases, not a couple. I didn't just figure this out last Saturday night. It took 17 years to develop this. And what I've learned in this process is a lot of things like trauma has the same effect on all humans. And as far as I can tell, about 85% of the population in the United States today has at least some signs of PTSD. If that's not alarming you, you're not awake. Because when we're traumatized and we can't breathe well, we're in hypoxic state. In other words, our brain is not getting enough oxygen. Here's the problem with that. When our brain doesn't get enough oxygen, the main problem is going to be that the lower part of our brain, we call it the lower part of the brain or the limbic brain. That part of the brain is where we store traumatic memory. It's also the location where the fight or flight response lives. One of the reasons why it's so difficult to get progress that's meaningful and lasting from talk therapy is because in that brain region, the limbic region, there's no language. It's pure experience. If you've ever been, everybody on this call has been triggered into a fight or flight situation. In such a case, there isn't a lot of thinking going on. It's all experiential. Act or not act, run, fight. This part of our brain is tyrannical, literally. Every person has a tyrant in them, and this is where it's located. This part of our brain is not considerate. It doesn't ponder things carefully before we act or decide that we believe something or choose a course of action. It's instantaneous, it just reacts. We also call it the reactive brain. So the cost of PTSD is hypoxia to the brain. And hypoxia to the brain has many severe problems to it. One of the number one problems is obvious. Not enough oxygen, your brain can't operate and function properly. One of the reasons is the brain is the most hungry oxygen organ in our body. Our brain is about 3 pounds. It consumes 20% of the oxygen. That's on an order of 14 times more oxygen hungry than any other structure in our body. So as a result, a very tiny loss of oxygen to this part of our brain is extremely toxic to the person. Now, one of the problems that people have with this PTSD and dealing with it is that when you're in the experience of it, you can't see outside of it. You can use your will, and I had an interesting conversation today with somebody on this call about a strong will. Most people have a very strong will, but will is not in of itself enough. We can't stay on mission with our will alone when the brain is hypoxic anyway, because we won't see small errors or even big errors. We won't be ourselves in the process of doing whatever it is what we're doing. We'll be something less than ourselves. So PTSD is caused by not the trauma. You see, if you're fishing for the solution in somehow resolving the trauma, you're wasting your time.
Dr. Rubenstein, can I have you speak a little bit louder, like with an outside voice, just so everyone is able to hear you a little bit clearer, because what you have to say is incredibly important.
Okay, sure. The problem is not the trauma. The problem is the chain reaction caused by the trauma. Trauma has 2 components, only 2. Component number 1, who, what, where, when, what happened. Secondly, the chain reactions that follow. Nearly all of the suffering is in the chain reactions, not the trauma. There's a few people on this call that have experienced this. And at first it seems like that's impossible. How can it not be the trauma? Answer, when you resolve the chain reaction, the person no longer has any They are no longer controlled. They don't think about the trauma anymore. It's not a part of their life anymore. It doesn't contaminate their relationships. It doesn't harm their health. It is the chain reaction that causes insomnia. We have a very simple way of looking at this. There's two things you have to do if you want to resolve the issues surrounding trauma. Number one, you have to oxygenate your body well. There's no way around that. And you can't use your mind to cause your body to breathe properly. That is impossible. I'm going to tell you a little story about this. This started in 2002 when, working with a yoga instructor of some noteworthiness in Newport Beach, I found that she could not use her diaphragm muscle. I was mortified when I found this. I couldn't believe that a yoga instructor, a popular one, 15 years experience teaching, could not get her diaphragm to work. Now, she could move her belly forward and back with the best of them, but that motion did not bring any air into her lungs. Secondly, she had a specific pain profile that I took note of. That was low back pain, neck and shoulder pain, tension or pain in her jaw. Those three things, we call them the pain trifecta. If you have those three symptoms, irrespective of if you've had those injuries to those areas, it doesn't matter. If you have those three symptoms, your diaphragm doesn't work, meaning that you're continuously needing more oxygen. After that experience, I found that this was almost ubiquitous in the population. About 90% of the population cannot use their diaphragm muscle. I found that after working with 106 yoga instructors, guess how many could not use their diaphragm? All 106. Now, I'm not guessing at this, ladies and gentlemen. I actually used what's called a palpation method. So I'm actually putting my fingers on top of the muscle itself and seeing if, when breathing, does that muscle contract? It didn't. With veterans, this is what I have found to be consistently the case. In fact, I haven't worked with even one veteran yet that could breathe with their diaphragm. What this means is that you can't heal well, mentally or biologically. If you can't get enough oxygen, it's the basis of healing. The secondary basis of healing is good quality sleep. It isn't the number of hours that you get, it's the quality that you get while asleep. Some people can do very well on 4 hours of sleep. We have a way to measure with precision if the person is sleeping thoroughly when they're sleeping. When I was a kid, I had an insomnia problem I didn't know was an insomnia problem. I used to wake up every hour, on the hour, and I remember the red clock I had next to my bedside, and I didn't know that that was abnormal, which means that I couldn't get into enough REM sleep so that when I would go to high school is when I found this out. I didn't do very well on my tests. I couldn't remember the information. Made me feel not very bright. But what I had was severe insomnia. And it was because I had civilian PTSD at the time. Of course, I didn't know that either. But so the two things that we restore immediately is sleep and breathing. Trauma acts like a virus. Trauma invades the brain, but also all of the tissues of the body, the organs, the muscles, everything. So when we do a protocol on your feet, never mind breathing for a minute, let's go to a body part called the feet. Every muscle and nearly every fiber of every muscle below the knee is what we call calibrated. Calibrated is a term I borrowed from engineering. It means to precisely measure and make certain that that thing is operating at peak performance. That's what calibration means. So when you calibrate muscles, they produce the proper amount of power at the proper time, coordinated properly, with the right amount of flexibility and the right amount of endurance. As a result, the viral-like pieces that relate from the trauma are removed permanently from that part of the body. In addition, when it's removed from the feet and the calves, it's also removed from the corresponding areas in the brain. We call that the sensory motor part of the brain, located on the top of the brain. So over a very short period of time, the entire program only takes about 3 or 4 months, something like that. It varies a little bit from person to person, but it's about 3 or 4 months. After that, you don't have PTSD anymore. I'm talking on the level of cure. Now listen, I'm a scientist. I can't say that word cure without being able to back up with mountains of evidence. And all of the science that I use is actually old science. No controversy at all in the science that I use. And I've been giving lectures in front of other doctors for 15 years now. I've yet to have somebody tell me in an audience or after a presentation or a lecture that something in what I'm saying is wrong or off, or that I got the science wrong. That's not happened even one time yet. So it tells me that I'm on to something that's important, that's making a profound difference in my fellow human being. I urge you to take seriously that what I'm saying, word for word, every word, is true. We have 3 goals for the American PTSD Society. The first goal, to work with individuals so that their PTSD is no more. Goal number 2, to provide these same people with a way to give back, to help their fellow man or woman. Because I find that a lot of vets want to make a difference. Just look at this phone call. Almost everybody here is a vet and they want to make a difference for their vets. So there's some percentage of you, of them, that have shown a great interest in becoming a practitioner. And so we have a training already completed, ready to go for our first generation of veterans, which will happen this year, that will become practitioners. So you got veterans working with veterans instead of me as a civilian working on veterans. It's a little better, I think, if veterans can work with veterans. So they have gainful employment. They don't have PTSD anymore. And our third goal, which is represented in the book I'm just about finished with, which is entitled The Fall of PTSD. So many people in this world, in this country, believe that PTSD is an intractable problem we can't really solve, we can just live with. That is wrong. Dead wrong. And I mean that specifically dead wrong, because people are taking their lives. Every person who commits suicide has PTSD. Hello? Every single one. So I have the cure to PTSD, which means our third goal is to stop suicide. One of the most profound things I ever read in my life happened just 2 days ago. And Joe Castillo on this call, it was something he wrote. It was about the number of suicides that have happened in the United States in the last 20 years outweighs the number of combat deaths by a factor of 12. 12 times more people, 12 times more vets in my country have committed suicide than died in combat. These are numbers from our own government. One of the insiders I know tells me that there's about 8 or 9 states in our country that refuse to report on the number of deaths from suicide in the military. When they don't want to report, that makes me suspicious that it's even higher than the average of other states. The number is 25 a day. That's
It's a lot
25 families that are tragically, horribly traumatized, keeping the trauma going. I think I heard somebody ask a question. Was that you, Christine?
No, yes, but I actually said it's a lot higher.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They're hiding numbers because it's so bad. So John Zajac, Patty McShane, and me, David Rubenstein, PhD, we're a part of a core team of 7 people that are bringing this to you all. I believe that the vets have already paid their dues. I don't want vets to pay for this. I want it for free. That's why we formed the American PTSD Society, so that we could bring in money from outside and have the vets go through this without the burden of the financial part of it. I mean, this is a $10,000 program. And that's not very much money to get your life back. But we can't really get the program cost below that, or not very much below that, because it takes 3 or 4 months. Each week is somewhere between 2 and 4 hours of time with me, face to face, eyeball to eyeball. We don't do any talk therapy. The only conversation that we have with all of our patients, whether they have PTSD or not, is just creating a box around what we're doing and why. Get reoriented to make sure that the person is on track with what they're doing and that they're still in the know of why they're doing everything that they're doing. So what we have is a cure, like I said. Now, I have to be very careful with that. Now, if I was sitting in front of a medical board and I said that word, I would have to have a pile of evidence as big or even bigger than what I already have. But I'm not sitting in front of the medical board. I'm sitting in front of you guys. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that this is the way of the future. I don't have any problems with any of the mainstream or alternative ways that are out there to treat, manage, or deal with PTSD. But if you want it gone, this is the way you do it. Because what we do is we don't leave anything left to chance. That's just my nature. So I'm ready now to take any questions that you may have.
Before you answer questions, I do want to throw someone under the bus on this call. Javier, and it's been said more than just by me, but many of us have seen a notable change in you and the amazing. You are already a great commander, but the work you're doing now and the way that you are less stressful,
I'm not stressed at all. Like, I have stress, but I'm like, nah.
Your personality, your consonants, everything has just changed. And it's pretty awesome to see for a lot of us that know you, because this change has been super positive. And the fact that you're wanting to go and learn this, to do this to others, is just incredible. So I just want to throw you on the bus and say that it's really awesome to see your transformation, like blaring out there. This is real.
You're making me blush.
For first when we got on the call, and I've heard this multiple times. And so it's really awesome that you're bringing this to us and to more veterans, because
We're gonna make a difference here, like between all of us. It's about this networking thing, and we're here, veterans, family, community. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And just like Doc Rubenstein is very passionate about this, so are we. And we're gonna change the world.
That's amazing. You guys feel free to unmute, ask any questions you have, comments.
I have something I got to say. I'd like to thank Dr. Rubenstein for pointing out the speech that I wrote. That was 2 years ago when it was 44 a day. And a lot of people gave me a lot of flack. They gave me, that the numbers were wrong, and it turned out to be true. What it was, the VA was only counting the veterans that were enrolled with the VA. They were not counting the ones that had like a general discharge other than honorable or medical, even dishonorable. You have to, in order to go to the VA, you have to have an honorable discharge. Okay. And they were not counting the ones who committed suicide that had those kind of discharges. For example, if a female was raped in the military, she suffered from sexual trauma and, couldn't perform her duties, she got a medical discharge. She could not go to the VA because of that, which is totally wrong. And then I think they changed that this year. But also, they were also saying like the veterans who are taking pain pills or painkillers for their injuries from war, they were depressed, and a lot of them took the pain pills to commit suicide. Of course, the VA were saying an accidental overdose. That was just some of the stuff they were doing. They were covering up a lot of stuff they didn't want people to know. I mean, I had Congresswoman Michelle Steele try to debunk me. I had, who else? I had a bunch of other people that wanted to publish my speech, but they told me we have to change the numbers. And I said, no, you cannot change those numbers. If you're going to do that, I don't want you to publish it. Thank God that, last year, the national commander got a hold of the speech, and he went before Congress in March of 2024 and spoke about the PTSD and TBI. TBI is traumatic brain injury. And he got the bill passed, with his speech. And and I like to thank them for what they're doing. And you know what? And here's the thing with me. I started this out, and it seemed like I was the only person speaking out at the time, but now it's grown to this much. And thank you, everyone. It's not my voice being heard. It's all of our voices being heard. That's what I always wanted. I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for fame. I'm not looking for anything that's, it's to save lives and to help these veterans that are suffering from PTSD. And I think Javier is a perfect example of the transformation of when I first met him to today. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say. Oh, one other thing is, I think Dr. Rubenstein, you were talking about the engineering term of accurate, and I apologize in advance for saying this. It's called balls on accurate. That's the engineering term.
Okay. So, Dr. Rubenstein, can you talk a little bit more about how someone can schedule an appointment with you and that beginning process?
Sure. I'm going to turn that over to Miss Patty. I'll kind of mess that one up.
It's very easy. Just call me, text me, email me. I have my contact information in the chat.
Awesome.
And your website, can you say your website really quick so people can go to your website?
Sure. It's totalreliefmethod.com.
Perfect.
Yeah, I seen that. And while we continue to ask questions and just decompress, if you want to connect with Dr. Rubenstein, or connect with any other veterans or resources here, please leave your information in the chat so that we could all get a hold of you. If you have social media, email, phone number, what have
If
you.
you're watching us on the live stream, you can go to veteranseriesforum.com. Yep. Corey, yes.
Do we have any other questions? That was
Corey.
really interesting conversation with Dr. Rubenstein there about the brain. So,
Dr. Rubenstein, how do you, for me, I've been hearing your name all over. So for me, it was important to come and see like what you're doing. I mean, I commend you for the work that you're doing, but for me, I'm much of an influencer in the community. So before like I take information back, I have to make sure that I'm putting everything into this, that I answer questions. But like for me, I'm going to start out basic. How do you track your data? Like, how do you know how do you track your success?
I still use a paper system. I'm embarrassed to say that, but the system is mathematically designed. So think of a one-page, and it has probably somewhere around 35 different questions that I ask every single time that I see somebody. Each of the questions has a numerical value. A mathematician has helped me put this together so that I could be precise with the mathematical part of it. And so it's tracked mathematically. And
Also, what time horizon do you use, Doctor?
Time horizon, say more about that, John.
How long do you track the clients? Weeks, months, years?
So that's in two parts. During their program, of course, there's a beginning set of measurements that we take to see the nature and the degree of the PTSD that we're dealing with. Then the program begins and they get results the very first session, because the first thing that we do is the #1 priority for any mammal on the planet, and that is getting oxygen to the system. You can't do that efficiently if you don't have your diaphragm. There's no backup plan, you guys. If you're not able to breathe with your diaphragm and your chest simultaneously, there isn't any shortcut. It doesn't exist. It's just the nature of the design of our body. So that program, we have a fast track way of doing this. We have a virtual program, and we have a combination of virtual and in person. And one of the reasons why we want to develop veteran practitioners, you don't need a background in anything to do this, believe it or not. Miss Patty McShane is the best practitioner I ever trained. And I've trained medical doctors and about 30 chiropractors. She's the best that I've ever seen. And that's because she didn't come to me with preconceived notions. When I did train about 30 chiropractors, the first thing that I told them in the beginning of the training was, look, you all have my deep respect for being doctors of chiropractic. The bad news is that nothing that you learned in chiropractic is going to help you in this process. The next training, 30% dropped out because of me saying that. I did that on purpose because a lot of people, they want to come in and say, I've got all these degrees or experiences and I know all this, and it's just useless knowledge. All the things that have been developed for this process are newly engineered. They're not borrowed from this thing or that thing. It had to be completely re-engineered. We call it a clean sheet design in engineering. And that means that every assumption's thrown out and you start from scratch. And that's why this took me so long to figure this out. So Corey, to you and to everybody, look, I'm a results-oriented person, okay? Period. End of story. If the results don't speak for it, then I'm not a fan. Period. I'm very black and white about that. The few people that are on this call that know me will tell you that that's how I am, sometimes to a fault. So
Also, if anyone who hasn't met myself or Dr. David Rubenstein and would like to have a sample treatment, we're going to be at Javier's VFW on April 12th at noon. So if you come by, we'll give you some knowledge. We'll drop some knowledge on you, and we'll get your diaphragm activated if that's something you're interested in getting done.
For those of you that want a little bit more than just a sample treatment, just make an appointment with us. Come in, do a first session. Let the results speak for themselves. Corey, come on in.
Can I say something real quick? By the way, I got the interest of the department commander of the American Legion that's going to be at that session on Sunday.
Awesome.
The top guy from the state is going to be there.
You mean
Great
Saturday?
job, Joe.
Yep.
You mean Saturday, Joe?
Yes. Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday the 12th.
It's Saturday.
Saturday? Okay. Okay, I told him Sunday, but I'll change that.
Any other questions?
Christine, do you talk to Juan Ortiz from US Vets?
I haven't seen the last event that he did at Patriots and Paws, but I can reach out to him. Yeah.
Well, that's who you probably want to connect him with is because Juan runs the wellness and mental health group for the whole collaboration.
Perfect.
There's going to be like 300 people there.
We're losing you right now. So there's an event you're sharing?
Well, yeah, it's coming up. I don't have the date, but it'll come up. But I mean, if you're trying to give him more exposure within the wellness collaboration, then you're going to have multiple agencies looking at it, and that's how it'll spread like wildfire. You know, obviously they're going to want to know who he is and vet it out, but that might be a good start for you.
Perfect.
Great, Corey.
Sounds terrific. Sounds perfect.
And Jesse and Christine, I would love for you guys to be at the VFW on the 12th. I know, Christine, I know Patriots and Paws also has an event that day as well, right?
Yeah, and
you told me about that.
Yeah, then there's a special event going on that day. There's a veteran on the call that's getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
Don't do it.
I hope a married person didn't just say that.
I did. Yeah. I've been married 30 years. It's awesome.
Congrats.
Getting married.
Thank you.
But the next event, I'll
I've
definitely.
been divorced for 2.
Yeah, congratulations.
Quick question. Is the gentleman that was from the American Red Cross still on the call?
Yes, Raul Diaz.
Awesome. So we're currently in the process of scheduling AED and defibrillators, an event here at the VFW. I'm in Hawaiian Gardens. So we want to see if we can possibly connect with you. See if we can get any support from the American Red Cross in that process. Because essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be offering it to the other posts in the region and whatnot, because we want to make sure all the not only American Legions, but the VFWs, obviously, the organization in which we belong to, their staff and whatnot, they are certified, in the AED, once we get the AED machine in, the defibrillator and all that other stuff. So is there any way, or do you have a contact for us to reach or partner with or collaborate, more rather, to bring that to fruition? Because if we have the American Red Cross in, it'll really bring, like, not only obviously that it's going to be a legitimate thing, but I feel as though the publicity and stuff with having a collaborative event with the American Red Cross, with the Veterans for Foreign Wars, the VFW, be fantastic.
Yeah. So my contact information is in the chat box. And by the
Awesome.
way, there was a question before my entry. People were asking for your VFW address for your upcoming event. So if you can add that, that would be great. And if there's anybody in the call that's looking to get some sort of certification, whether it's CPR, BLS, AED, please reach out to me. It is some certifications that the American Red Cross can provide, but it is through a different line of service. That's training services, but I'm happy to help you navigate that system. And I myself am a VFW post member out of post 9223 Riverside. So yeah, it's good to be among comrades for sure. And I also added a link for one of our programs. This is some of our reconnection workshops, and the great thing about them is that they are 100% free, and we will come out to you. We will bring these services and programs to you. And again, just look at those. I have a question for the group. I don't know if I'm taking this call somewhere where we're probably not ready to go, but it'll be my first time going to the Orange County Veterans Military Family Collaborative. Anyone in this call going to that? I'm just wondering if I'll run into anyone there.
I don't think I'll be there. I think it's during a time that I'm at work, but it's a wonderful group of people. And Corey, will you be there? Is Corey on the call still? A wonderful group of people.
I think he's gone, but yeah, I used to attend those meetings, and yeah, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of resources at that at all levels, federal, state, local.
Yeah, and before you go, Roll, can you, if somebody's watching on the live stream, give a contact that you can read off, like your email or a website where they can go and find you if they do want to connect with you?
Sure. So I service and support the Southern California region. It's a huge chunk of land here in Southern California. That includes all of Imperial, San Diego, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Orange counties. Don't worry, I'm not alone. I don't do this by myself. 95% of the American Red Cross workforce are volunteers. So we have an amazing group of people that are for the mission. If anybody wants to contact me, or if you're in the Los Angeles County area and need to get a hold of a Red Crosser, please reach out to me at raul.diaz. That's Raul.Diaz at redcross.org.
I put all your information in the YouTube live stream, so everybody should be able to access you.
Great. I'm looking forward to a full inbox.
So if I could add one more thing, Christine, that's okay. It's only going to be about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
As some of you may know, I belong to different organizations, the Moose. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the 40 and 8. They're kind of like a secret society for the American Legion. Also the Freemasons I'm a member of. And those two groups, one of them has been around for over 300 years. And they have money. So if we can impress them, you guys can have some backup there. So I will mention this at the next meeting, at the next lodge meeting. And also, you know, because they support the veterans organizations quite a bit.
And Joe, we would love to come out and do a presentation for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which lodge do you belong to, Joe? Because
I belong to the one in Yorba Linda. I used to be the one in they used to have it in Brea.
Yeah.
And moved to Yorba Linda.
Yeah, because I'm actually looking for a lodge because I'm a third degree, so I definitely would like to connect.
Yeah,
sure.
I just actually joined.
Vaughn, because we have 7 minutes left, and I want to make sure everyone is able to talk to Dr. Rubenstein and
Absolutely.
And ask any questions you have before we hop off. Feel free to unmute.
Hey, I have a quick question for you. Do you have a quick
nice uniform there, Mr. Elder?
Yeah, David Chief.
Although your shave isn't in regs.
Hey, actually it is because I'm retired.
Oh!
So, do you have a quick breathing exercise that we could use while maybe something that you could tell us right now just to get us started to work on a diaphragm?
Yes. We have, there's a breathing exercise that I developed that's called trumpet breathing. And I don't know that it will, I don't think it will translate on a Zoom call. In fact, I know it won't. But in person, it's very easy to convey and teach. We do that all the time. And even without a diaphragm that's activated, this acts like a dosing yourself with relaxation, which is very helpful. One of the problems with PTSD anybody who knows, is a constant background stress mixed with a certain level of anxiety that never really goes away. And what this will do is stop that. It will stop that for a period of time. And how long, it depends on the severity of the case that we're talking about. But the real thing that I want to share with you, Chris, is that the diaphragm muscle is your main breathing muscle. It's shut off. Like, it's completely off. And what we do is we measure to see if that's actually the case and to what degree it's been shut off. Sometimes there's a little hint of some diaphragm activity still in the system, which is wholly not enough to make things work. But we need to be precise in knowing what we're starting with, so that when we get to 100%, which we also verify in that first session. In addition, in the first session, we also do a treatment to the jaw. And what people tell us regularly, almost 100% of the people that get that treatment, they'll tell us that their mind has not been that quiet in memory.
Wow.
So it's a vacation for your mind. To have your mind be at peace with nothing in it is an amazing experience. And it's a very natural experience where everything that we're doing is, I'm going to say, it's under the umbrella of the divine design. In other words, there's a design to our system, our body, our brain, all of its working interconnections. And if you deviate from that design, you will have problems, period. There's no exceptions. It's a very tyrannical setup. And
Dr. Rubenstein?
That is the definition of ill health. It's when we depart from the design that is a human. Go ahead.
Dr. Rubenstein, my question is, doing these breathing techniques, is it a form of way getting rid of toxins out of your body? Is that some kind of, I don't know.
The primary means by which the human body detoxifies itself is through breathing. To say just a little bit more, oxygen has two functions, basic functions in the human body. Number one, it's a garbage truck. It takes away the metabolic garbage. Number two, it's the catalyst that causes the energy production in our body. Everybody who has PTSD also has fatigue or exhaustion. And so, and what they're doing is they're just using their mental to get by and to force the mental to override the fatigue. Anybody, by show of hand, anybody feel that experience before? Yep. So you get your energy back, you get your sleep back, you get your mood back. Because if you have PTSD, you have what we call mood dysregulation. You can't manage your moods properly. And listen, PTSD is a biological problem. It is not psychological, except that that's where we experience it. We experience PTSD primarily in our mind, our thoughts, our emotions. But its genesis is biological. And the proof is when you take the biological problem out of the equation, the person normalizes right away. Right away. And because you're restoring the biological functions to their normal reset, that's what calibration means, it's a permanent fix. Now, there is a very small amount of maintenance that a person will do to maintain their calibration, and it's a series of stretches, a series of breathing exercises, and a walk, a daily walk. That's it. You get your life back for doing those three things. And
Dr. Dave, Patty posted the trumpet breathing.
Oh,
I'm not sure if you saw that or not.
I didn't see that. So yeah, Miss Patty, can we let's just give them the video?
Yeah, I gave him the link to the video.
So there you
All
go.
right. Can I say something real quick? That April 12th, we have the session here at 1200 hours. I didn't believe it myself. I promise you, come down here, check it out. Prove me wrong. You're not going to regret it.
Gardens, BFW.
You're not going to regret it. Also, I got to get off the phone call, but comedy show Friday the 18th. That's so
Javier,
funny.
you give them your website address?
Facebook, VFW 7243. I don't have a website.
You can go ahead and just look us up on Facebook. You can just search up VFW Post 7243, and essentially it'll give you details and whatnot in regards to the comedy show and our upcoming events. So if you guys have the time or the availability, come out and check it out. It's definitely a great time. And again, we'll go ahead and send out more information regarding it. However, definitely check out our Facebook page where we'll keep it updated so you know our upcoming events and stuff.
Great. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Actually, that's a great segue, right, to wrap it up. We can actually still talk after this, but this will end our formal portion of the call. You can find us, the Veterans Series Forum, on Facebook at Helping Our Veterans Who Have Sacrificed for Us. If you are seeking resources, want to make connections, or are a resource yourself, please join us on the first Tuesday of every month from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. You can also join from our website directly at www.veteranseriesforum.com. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good night.
Christina, I'll
Alrighty,
send you
guys. It's a
message,
pleasure.
a little later today.
It was so great to have you guys on and share. Like I said, you guys, and you heard, everyone's been hearing the talk. Everyone's been talking about how they've been feeling, who have experienced it. And your name is going around in many circles here in Orange County. So we're really grateful to have you on sharing with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. I really appreciate. We had such a fantastic meeting the other day. It's one of those meetings that lingered with Miss Patty and I, and that little hand calibration I did. You got better breathing from that. Now
My goodness.
that's something else, because that's not generally what will happen from the hand treatment. But I'm
No.
all about it.
I think it was this.
No, it wouldn't be that.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like,
So the hand, just real quickly, the hand has more nerves in it than any other area of the body, okay? And because of that, very, very small amount of treatment can convert into a very large amount of relaxation, which is what helped you breathe a little bit better.
a lot better. It was weird.
Wait till we get your diaphragm activated.
It's so incredible. Awesome, you guys. Well, I know Yogi, you're on and you didn't share. Robert, you're on. You want to say who you are real quick while we're just leaving?
Sure. I'm Jonathan Yogi Hernandez. I am a co-host of the Militavet podcast. I am also the veteran caucus leader for all the California Community College Student Senate leaders. And then I am also going to be up in your area this starting on Thursday, because I'm running for the whole region of San Diego, 10 colleges that are here to represent them. But primarily I'm focusing right now on helping our veteran community in multiple ways. Since I just retired September of last year. And since then I started college, and I've been going through a lot of things. I went out through a medical board. So Dr. Rubenstein, I fully understand what you're talking about. When it comes to the breathing, that was something that was talked about briefly with one of my providers, but that was extremely briefly. And then afterwards, there was no more. So I can believe what you're saying, and I would like to experience that one of these days. And honestly, I am just being thankful. I'm thankful for being here. I've been disconnected because I've been going through college. Right now, we're on spring break, so it's finally some breathing room. But I'm really happy to be here with y'all. Thank you.
Well, Yogi, you can make a first session with Miss Patty, and we'll just give you a super low cost freebie almost, or free. It depends on some factors, but just do that one session, and that's all it takes.
Thank you.
The experience is so potent that it moves you into the category of undeniability.
I appreciate that.
Anytime.
And
I'm
Joe,
here to serve you guys. That's my job. My purpose is to serve the vets.
I
That's
appreciate
beautiful. Is that anchors I see on your hat?
that. Absolutely it is. Happy birthday, if you understand.
I am a Navy man.
Beautiful. Yes, today's her 132nd birthday, so really happy and proud to be here
All
for the
right.
Navy Chiefs.
Good deal.
Well, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next month, first Tuesday of every month. Other events we didn't get to share, but VFW April 12th, Patriots and Paws April 12th, barbecue. When you guys are done getting treated, hop over there and eat. And then we have the July 19th dinner and comedy show this year. I know it's super far in the future, but get your tickets now. That event is going to be incredible. We have pro athletes, some great celebrities. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of drinks, and a lot of laughs. Thank you guys for being on tonight. Talk to you later.
Awesome.
Bye,
Okay,
everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.